doing checkups. What people don't understand is that the money is tied to DCYF and all of that, but other stuff is tied to the Public Defender's Office. And as the government position, my stuff not just gets evaluated on that point, but when my evaluation, my annual evaluation comes up, he talks to other people. And I got a lot of dings in my evaluation based on stuff like this happening, because somebody else reads it and then goes back. And so instead of having a good report or a good annual evaluation, I got a poor annual evaluation, which to me is not fair. But that's why I'm saying, for me, it's not necessary. You know, it would be nice, because then he wouldn't be looking at stuff going, well, I didn't see, you know, I don't see what you're doing. I don't see it listed. I don't see it happening. It's not because I want the recognition. It's because ultimately the money from the Public Defender's Office, the money from DCYF is tied to, because they don't always read what you send, it's tied to what they see and to what people see. So my issue is that I keep saying that I'm giving, like, okay, I support Kwanzaa. Oh, but you weren't listed on that. I don't believe you participated in that. So it's this idea of the old school of accountability, where we unfortunately are carrying the burden of people who were saying that they were doing things and they weren't. And so now I have to always be like, oh no, we was, you know, this is what we're doing. This is how it's happening. And then they're like, well, you're the only one saying that. So how do we know that you're really doing it? So unfortunately, everybody that comes up now has to deal with the 40 years of what was happening during redevelopment. And that's ultimately for me, is I got to be able to backtrack, and I have to hold staff accountable. But it would be nice if, when we do stuff, that, because you know, I don't get up and be like, oh, we did this, we did that. I'm not into that. But I ultimately have to go back and give a report. And it has to be, or it would be beneficial for me if I'm not the only one saying that we're doing it. Because a lot of times those folks don't plug in, which is the number one issue. They don't plug in with community. They only plug in on the higher level. They only base it on the brochures, the flyers, and what other EDs are saying.
So, down at the table, we can just be inclusive to that. That's not.
No, it's not a problem, and that's the overview of ours, is not putting you included with the Monday nights. Like I said, our thing was just the Monday nights. The manager asked us, you know.
On side of that.
Yeah, asked us, you know, to come up here.
So does the manager of the building understand or knows that there's a tenant association? Is it supposed to go through those channels before?
She said that it's her complex.
The manager did.
The manager is her complex. And she tired of people telling her what they gonna do up there.
Well,
I had to come to her and tell her what I was doing on Monday nights, and she told me she gave me 3 months to get my act together and put something together on paper.
Or you gotta leave.
Right. So, you know, we had the rapport, you know, and we sat and talked a few times, and she said that she wanted these programs. So I just put it on paper. I don't know who was gonna run it. You know, and that's why I came down here to LA Hill Hutch, because I knew that it was finally a center that was up and running that can really get some education going on in the community.
Right.
Like I said, they run it up to St. Haven, but they're not getting what they need.
Right.
You know, so, and then I talked to even Rubicon, their new job agency. Come down here and do some programming. You know, so I know More Magic is the overall convener of the Western Edition, so I just know that they're plugging in. You know, so it's not a problem with anybody being on there.
No, I knew that when I saw this, that I knew it in I said it last night to Tina and to Erica, that I know it wasn't out of malice that you thought to overlook anybody, but at the end of the day, I just think it's good conversation that we do kind of, because again, my image of all of us is for us to start doing things more collaboratively together. Right. Everybody got personal agendas. It's all about them. I'm not into all that. That's why me and for the most part, you see me, I've been sitting, kicking back, just watching folks. I don't say nothing, I just been watching. And we can't come together for whatever reason, because it's so personal with us as black people, for whatever, everything is just so personal. You know, it ain't never the business at hand. But at the end of the day, you know, when we have More Magic or Shuro as the convener, you know what I'm saying, and she's one of the ones who I actually look to and I call for certain things, you know, I want to make sure that we all on the same page. So I thought this was a productive meeting for us to have. And I'm glad she got a chance to voice that, because it is true. We don't say enough of what you're doing, Cheryl. I don't say enough of what Erica's doing, and that's true. We gotta do better. We too busy running down there telling on each other, as opposed to saying, you know what, Cheryl really did this for us on Monday nights. She even comes to Ella Hill and helps us move, and then so folks can have different conversations about us. Because my thing is, my grandmother told me before, Howard, if you ain't got nothing good to say, just don't say nothing at all. So notice, I ain't had nothing to say about nobody. Seriously. And, but the people who are close to me, I want to make sure that, you know, I keep that close knit, because I know at the end of the day, especially with times the way they are, at the end of the day, what they're going to do to us right now, they're going to force us to make us need each other. And that's what's supposed to happen. So everybody don't think they can do their own thing. Everybody can have their own little groups and their own little meetings. But at the end of the day, they're going to come back to the big table. And the big table say, we all have to do this collectively together, or guess what? We're not going to get anything. And so I'm just happy that, so sure, you and Brother Ayers, I think, I'm glad that Ayers was cleared on that, because, you know, when I asked about it, it was clear to me that he put his heart into this, and this is something that I know you and I know that they've been wanting structure up there at that place. That's been the problem, that they haven't had any structure. That's been the problem at Plaza East, no structure. When Quez and them was up there, and the assumption was that all the guys are in there going to get high. When Paris came to me a year and a half ago when I was in this position, he asked me to help him do some things. Because the perception was they gang members, they smoking weed, and they ain't doing this, that, and the other. And so, with that being said, you know, sometimes, for some people, perception is reality, and we got to give a better perception of us as black people together than we have been. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that that's important. That's important to me. That's important to us at Ella Hill Hutch, because that's what I'm steady trying to tell our staff. And the minute that we step outside of that is the minute that I have to stop even our staff and say, look, we can't operate under these under this kind of obstacles, because we have to really do it in conjunction with each other. So.
Well, I do want to say, I mean, ultimately, Eris and I have a good rapport, and you know, things just move quickly.
Right.
So, I mean, at some point, I was going to call Eris, and we were going to do the check-in anyway, but it just, you know, I appreciate you for organizing and setting this up, but, you know, bottom line is, we know that there's going to be struggles, there's difficulties. That for me, it's being able to move beyond it. I don't take nothing personally. You know, Erison and I have had the same people go off on us, you know, about stuff because people get territorial. So ultimately, you know, it's the same conversation I had with some staff people the other day. It's not about personalities, it's about production. It's about product, it's about at the end of the day. So it's not about whether you like me or I like you, because most people don't like me, and I'm fine with that. But it's about what's happening. Are you doing what you say you're going to do? And that's all that really matters. So let's just move forward.
But you know what's funny, because the reason why I say this is because I notice as black folks, it's always personal with us, and we never deal with the business. That's why we are left behind when it comes to what's going on with the money and with everything else, our children and education and everything else. We got to get aside that. But I'm gonna tell you, and again, I'm glad you came to share, Cheryl, and I don't mind sharing this story either, and I hope you don't either. The same exact thing already happened to Cheryl with that same incident up there at Plaza. She was putting up her money that I know of, because I saw her do it. She was putting up her time, and then all of a sudden, she became the person that was doing the wrong. And that was totally unfair and not right. And I would tell you personally, I wasn't in the position, I don't think, at the time, and I didn't even like it. Because I thought, like, man, how could you do that? You know, how could you have her do all this and then kind of leave her, have her kind of push her out there and leave her, and then say, well, she did this, that, and the other. But we got to get out of that. You know, I mean, again, we got to just come together. But at the end of the day, so it sounds as if the lady, the manager, asked you to do this because she wanted some stuff that she got, like Cheryl, whoever she answered to, she got to justify some things for herself. And so it's good that's the case. Tina actually brought up a good point last night, and she said that, because she asked me how was a safe haven in Ellie Hill involved, and I told her that you were working with our young people with the case manager position, but she said she would like to see one of the tenants work up there with the whole program, which I thought, that's cool. You know, I mean, it's a great idea. It's a matter of just, brainstorming how to make it work, but it's an excellent idea.
And let me say this, that before I even took the position of safe haven, I was looking at the YMCA safe haven, like I said, because we got a bunch of youngsters running up there now.
Right.
So my main thing was, like I said, is not really put all the functions that everybody's already doing right now at Plaza East. Where the kids are at Plaza East, or they somewhere else. L.L. Hut said they was going to do the GED program up there, so that's where I put y'all at. But as far as the safe haven, like I said, that was just a YMCA, since we got a bunch of them youngsters running up there now. So I want to make sure that they was accountable for them youth going up there. So what my position as L.L. Hudson safe haven, L.L. Hudson was just responsible for the GED program.
And let me share that with you. We did a year of GED work up there with Ray Tompkins.
And McCormick and Barron has hired him.
Okay, because I don't want to personally.
For Hayes Valley.
But personally, I didn't know that. But personally, I wasn't gonna have him come back anyway.
No, we would, and I think
That's
Eric
where
and I
Nikki came. That's where Nikki came in.
Eric and I have always been in agreement that there need to be some tougher standards. There need to be some more curriculum-based programming up there. And I think one of the issues that I saw with, and I don't know if you were going to the classes when he was doing them, but one of the issues that I saw is that he was going to have them doing GED indefinitely. To him, it was life skills, it was a GED, and they kept coming. They weren't really, so I know he got mad at one of the last meetings and said he didn't appreciate people saying whatever, but he was like not focusing on the academics, which I think places like Rubicon and other places help people figure out the life skills piece. They were supposed to be moving towards getting a GED, but that was not my understanding, his focus, because he kept saying they weren't ready for that.
Well, I chose not to work with him any longer, because actually what happened was how he even became the GED instructor up there was, we had a contract, he subcontracted through a group that Lisa knew, a young lady, Vanessa Coleman, and Vanessa hired him. I never hired him, he never worked for us. But, I watched him move and I watched some of the things he said, and I wasn't too happy with the way he moved either. So I said, when we do it again, if we do it again at Plaza, I want a different instructor, and it won't be him.
And then another thing, it's fine and dandy, but you just got December to April. We don't want something that's gonna come there and be there and then gone.
Who is you?
No, I'm just saying, as me as a tenant, I'm talking as a tenant and for the board. We want something that's gonna be there. That's not gonna, we there now and then now we out of here.
Yeah, but Tina, at the end of the day, I understand that, but at the end of the day, this is a start. And
I know, but then, so you saying it's a start. Okay, so then, May, June, whatever, then it's cut off again. So then the lifeline is cut off again. And that's what I'm saying. For 3 years, we've been going through this lifeline, the boys at Plaza. Do you wonder why? All in the Western Addition. Why do these boys show up when we say we having a meeting at Plaza? You could go all over the Western Addition, but that's the one place that they will all come in that room and sit down. It's been a stagnating thing for 3 years. Not from your standard, from you, but from previous directors before you and previous other people that had collaborations with us. So, like
why haven't you guys put together something like this then? How come you guys ain't done this?
I just want to.
If that's the case, why haven't you guys put something together for January?
Let me speak to that, because I think
I'm saying for the girls group. We started.
Okay, well, that's
the
good.
boys group was going in. Then we was coming in with the girls group. We was working that as a board. That's why I feel Eric should have had came and
But let me
Talk
just say
to the
that
board.
the new management has changed things.
Right.
Because prior to that, we had to go through Belinda and we had to go through hoops. And actually, after the urban services kind of mix up with the back room, David said they were gonna turn the back room into a child care
They did.
center and that they didn't want any more programming there. They were not happy with the way the things played out. The housing authority was upset when they looked at $30,000 over the course of basically less than 6 months and nothing to show for it. And they actually went to other departments and said, we shouldn't do that anymore. And so even though we had drafted in those meetings with Mercarini a very extensive, really like day by day, like on Monday should be this, here's the curriculum, they said they didn't want
I got
it.
it, but you had that, but I'm saying, I'm asking Tina.
No, we did that with the tenants association.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Based on what they wanted, and after, basically, we did that, urban services was supposed to implement it, they created their own thing, and then the city said, that's it, we're not doing it anymore, but
When we sit
fortunately,
at the-
Bridget came
when we sit
in.
at the table. But Bridget, this is what happened. I went to David, and I told David, Mo Magic and Brothers for Change was gonna come do a boys group. He didn't want me to let them in. He said, okay, I'm gonna let you try it for a month. If I hear anybody saying there was any confusion or anything, the first couple of weeks what happened? The officers kept on showing up and all that. You know, so then after that, it was just left alone because the boys wasn't doing nothing. When they came here, they was in the thing. They was when they ate, they was standing outside, and then they were saying, oh, they was over there, they jumped over the fence.
I don't wanna cut you off, but
Okay.
I got to stab me too.
Okay.
I got it. So we can do that with Magic, figure out their piece, and figure out whatever piece it is with Magic or with Safety Network financially that can help with whatever they can do. Because I know Cheryl is, again, when it comes to money, they cut that money even down to nothing, basically. But whatever little bit she can produce will help. Is that fair assessment, Cheryl?
Yeah, we've always, even the management knows that, you know, I guess, that I've been working with Mo Magic. Every time I go in there, she asks about Mo Magic,
Right.
so.
So we'll figure it out, I guess we'll figure out, we kind of just put that in here or whatever.
Absolutely, this is not even the most recent version.
What?
Brian.
Well, actually, they're supposed to, I
So
talked to
what's
David.
what's the most recent version?
Because, I'm sorry, Tina, Bridget emailed back after a meeting a couple weeks ago that the GED and the job readiness should be combined. Right, so there are a couple of changes that
Okay.
she suggested, emailed you, CC'd me, and so I'm happy to edit it.
And then what would you, Cheryl, what will be, how would you want to put?
Well, I guess at some point in time, maybe Nikki, Eris, and I, we should meet, because what's been happening with the new staff person we have that's been working with Tina for the girls' night, they actually have the monthly agenda, they have the classes, that person helps in terms of outreach. We're taking the girls to Benihana's tonight, so maybe if there's a way to figure out
And
how, I mean, I won't have another staff person, so we'll have to figure out, I won't have another male person, so. we'll
They
have to
won't give you
figure out-
that, they won't give that back to you?
Well, Micah's position was actually through the public defender's office, and I mean, part of what happened is, you know, they're making everybody cut. And so part of that was, you know, that's a position, that's gone. And I mean, it was only temporary part-time.
Can I ask this question then, is it a possible way, because it may not be a position, but is it a possible way that if nothing else, for Les and for Kev, who's really putting in real work, that we can figure out some kind of stipend for them in a sense of like a cycle or something, you know, or something out of the.
Well, I mean, I can check and see, but I mean, in the scheme of the grants that are out in the Western Edition, I'm low.
We are low.
I
I mean,
have
I'm
the
like,
YMCA actually looking at that now. Like I said,
Buchanan-wide
Yeah,
machine.
Buchanan-wide
Okay,
looking at
good.
that because,
because Melissa uses.
Kevin is a coach up there, he's coaching the young men. And so if it's gonna be a Buchanan-wide team, then he needs to be on Buchanan-wide
Okay,
staff or
right,
stipend or something.
that's good.
So they just offered lesser position yesterday, so we're looking at that.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah, so, you know.
That's good.
Making sure.
See, that's probably, that's how, and so, we just gotta figure out that, like that, so that we know that's what Les does, so we gotta just do, we gotta support that piece, and then, cause I think what happens too with collaboration, especially, again, amongst us, I think we need to do more debriefing. We don't debrief enough in the sense of, like, when I ran a Freedom School, I debrief with my staff every day. I'm not saying we need to do it that much, and then I debrief every Friday. And I mean by that because stuff like this come up and you can nip it in the bud. Say, you know what, Cheryl, on Mondays, it ain't cool when you bring the food, or you should say Cheryl buy food. Cheryl may have food come in, but if you bring the food at 6, Cheryl, but let's bring the food at 5 because the boys eat, then we can do this and that. Or maybe bring it at 7 because once they get the food, they leave. You know, so you debrief and you start telling certain things to make everything go smooth. And there's gonna be a lot of bumps in the road, just like right now. But it's okay. That's what we understand. It's okay if we don't. It's okay if it just don't go our way, or it's okay if things come up. But what's not okay is if we're not trying to collaborate, and we're not trying to fix it in a collaboration standpoint, or in the spirit of the children, or the spirit of this community. And I think that's what we here to say, and that's what we.
No, and I agree. I mean, but that was that was a staff issue. Like that was followed.
Yeah, but that's something you gotta work out. You know, you ain't, like you said, that's.
But I do want to say, and I just think at this table to recognize that I think the Buchanan Y and Rec Connect have really stepped up in terms of, and I credit that initially with Melissa.
Right.
You know, I think Melissa was a huge part of that, but I think, I don't know so much about Adrian, but Rashida
But I
and
think that's
others
the
are
case too, but along with that, what I've noticed with Brothers for Change, and obviously outside of the work they do is real personal to me, is that they seem to do a lot of work, and definitely with Rec Connect and Buchanan Y, but in conversations, because you know I used to work there,
Yeah.
they had little respect for Brothers for Change, and when you ask them, can you financially support them? Oh, they don't have the education, they're not, you know, so
Right.
to
So then
me,
we
they
gotta
were
work with them
they
on
were
that.
being used,
Right.
if you ask me.
Right.
Because everybody knows they're gonna work, they're gonna do the work, they know the
Right.
people. And, you know, in the same way that you are, you know, making sure Tina is recognized for all the hard work she does, I think it's time that we do the same for Brothers for
Yeah,
Change.
I agree.
Because they do use our people who are from the community, they know the people, they know what the need is, and that's why Tina is so passionate about this right now, because that's your community, those are your people, they're all of our people, but
I had
so
talked to David, he
understand
said that we could sit down, we could sit down as a board, me, you, the board, and we could go over the thing. It's just that, you know, I see what you wrote, but you know, I would like to have it like, you know, okay, these are the people that we collide with. Okay, on Monday night, we doing this, boom, 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 with so and so and so and so, like and so and so and so and so. On Tuesday, and cause this, then I'm like, then it blew my mind when I turned to the page. But then I seen,
You have Tina's number, you guys can just follow.
yeah, girls program, you know, and
Right,
it's
but
like,
it was
it's
interesting
like
about the girls program, and just because that's interesting that you say that, because this, you know, I am very much a volunteer and consultant, and so all of this comes from the.
Where's the staff? You have
Brothers for
staff?
Change does. And then I format it, and, you know, as we go back and forth, and then, you know, it looks like something like this, and so, but the work is from Brothers for Change,
Yeah.
and I think that should be.
But that's the whole thing, was like I said, the manager asked for all this stuff.
Yeah.
We weren't trying to do all these programs. Like I said, everything that we were trying to do, we were trying to bring everybody forward.
And soon as she said that,
But my
that
thing
there's a
was,
girls group,
with
I think that's the
Travis,
revised version.
she said, I said,
You
what?
see, soon as that.
And then we put like
on.
some supportive group once a month. We have a tendency to meet once a month. You know, collabing, I mean, doing
She
the
said
things
about the
you can do
NA.
live with the
Right,
tennis
so that could be okay, all I'm saying is,
That's what I-
this is just an outline that we, at the
Because
very
we
end.
follow up with them later and get into detail about.
So that's kind of like through us when we was because I didn't even trip off of it until when another tennis association person read. They were like, look at that, and then I was like, well, Evans knew that we had to
Are
go.
we done?
So,
Okay.
So we're gonna get a follow up.
Well, I want to know for sure, say, is there anything backdated that you do need? Because I understand when you have to do reports.
No, I mean, it'll all work out.
I got
Once we put- once we
Tina
put-
has to sign your sheets.
So,
I mean,
Not
for me,
for
it's
that.
just getting the dates and putting those in and saying that we did stuff, because we're not necessarily, we don't necessarily have to put the names of the youth in, but at some point in time, if somebody does come and say, hey, we want to see your,
Yeah, because we had a guest speaker last night. They had their shining sheet, we had ours. I mean, it's just what everybody has to do right now when you're dealing with all this reporting. So we just want to
because
make sure
the truth of
everybody
the
can
matter
be
is,
accountable for the
and
work that
for
they're
me,
doing.
it doesn't matter as much, except the truth of the matter is that funding's gonna be cut. And they're not going to, this time around, cut your funding and reroute it to somebody else. When they cut something, it's gonna
over,
be cut.
yeah.
And so when I was talking to John Avalos and some other folks about, oh, we're gonna be coming, we're gonna be talking to y'all about, he said, well, what can you show me about what you're doing? And so I was like, yeah, I can
But
get
now
back
we
to
can do
you on
that. But now we can get back to them once we get clean this up,
I'll remember
right?
that as I'm looking over things and finalizing things too, because my assumption is that Brothers for Change is part of the Social Justice Committee.
Right.
No magic, so.
Right, and that's something that I can, and that's the way that I can say, oh, we
You
got
can
to
spin it that way, yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
But, again, for me, it was more, this is like the bottom layer of the onion that we've been peeling back, that I'm like, okay, we gotta get this
But
message.
can I say something else before we end this meeting? What's important, I know, Nikki, you kind of knew with all this stuff. Cheryl and I already had this whole collaboration thing blow up already at Plaza with another group. And for whatever reason, I believe, in my own opinion, that I don't think they think we can come together, one, and definitely don't think we can come together on Plaza. So this is something that we can do to prove all of them wrong. In the sense of coming together and everybody playing their role and their part and producing something for them. Because I think that it's inevitable that we do that, but I think in essence, that's what they really want to see. What structure do you have laid out that you're at least attempting to try to do? Because we just been talking, oh, we do this, we do that, we do this. No, what do you have down? So now we got a template that we can tweak, and so let's tweak it, let's make it work, and let it here, let the template, because that's what happened. And again, this is great, trust me, I like it. But I'm gonna tell you what happened the last time, and Cheryl, another witness. The last time, I'm just gonna put it out there, an organization had something like this, but they did it in the sense of it only said who they were. It didn't say nothing about Cheryl. It didn't say nothing about Brother Chang. It didn't say nothing about Erica or Tina or how are we doing. It just said, this is what we doing. Because and the bad part about that was they wrote it and they put it out there and said, we did this because you all can't do this. You know what I'm saying? That was the image that they put out that really, really actually got underneath my skin. But it's okay. Because now we can do this. You know what I'm saying? We can collaborate and make it go smooth.
And that was after we sat at the table and they gave an agreement and said they were gonna do everything that we wanted them to do, but then once they got the money, they did that.
Of course, but I'm just saying, we gotta just tighten up our stuff. I'm to the point now where at this point, I'm not talking bad about nobody. Because you know what? It's too much work to be done. I don't have time to be mad at nobody or talk about nobody because we got too much work to be done. There's too much work to be done.
Well, let's get the work done then.
But I think
Let's do it.
that, a lot of it was already happening, it was already getting done, but now it's time to take it to the next.
Right, Aries, and that's another thing. That's what you said with Aries is you've been doing the work and you haven't even been getting the acknowledgement that you've been in. So we gotta, Erica, can you take this and sign this for me?
Let's get the work done, Howard.
Oh, we're gonna get it done,
And
Cheryl.
Howard. I don't remember that. When people tell you so, who said that? Oh, I don't remember saying that. Oh, wait a minute.
Saying what?
That's what you be doing.
When's the next tennis association
I don't.
meeting, Tina?
Yeah, when do you guys meet?
Once a month, every Wednesday. This Wednesday.
What Wednesday? First Wednesday of the month?
First Wednesday of the month.
So y'all meeting this Wednesday coming up?
Yes.
Okay, great.
See, that's why I'm heavy on even creating MOUs, that way everybody's accountable on.
Yeah, do that.
Yes.
But see, that's another thing you can put in there, Cheryl, and it is. That could be part of it.
And see, and my thing is,
And say that.
with the MOU, and then even if we could get copies so we can keep it
Yeah,
as
we get an MOU with the tennis
so when
association.
Right.
I'm getting people coming at me, I can say, well, this is what is going on in our complex.
Yeah.
Because I
Then you gotta worry about me. Then you gotta worry about me telling you what you ain't doing.
How's it going to come tell me, what I'm saying, and I'd be like, oh, well, and that's what I was trying to tell David then. And he said, well, we can do it. I was like, no, David,
Tina.
you don't get it.
Our meeting is over with.
Okay.
I
But I
got
talked to him.
I got the point. Trust me.
I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
Okay then.
Okay.
Guess what?
What?
You coming to the party?
What party?
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. You go
Best part of the meeting.
the best, hey, for real, the FILLMORE reunion
Oh, when is it?
is June 20th. I just locked it in. So to get the tickets back.
Who's giving it?
Tina. Me, and then Donnie supposed to be helping me.
Nice searching them undercover. Come on over and say something. You waving? Give me an interview then. You waving? I see you at the other end.
Happy Super Bowl Sunday, man.
You too. I see you at the other end.